Welcome back to Dad Deals. I have another e-bike video for you. My friends over at Velotric sent me another e-bike to review, and this one is their new Breeze 1 Cruiser e-bike. Now, if you're following along, this is my third e-bike review video from them, so I really feel like it puts me in a good place to compare all these models and kind of give you the pros and cons of each one. You know, when they first sent me that e-bike, the Discover 2, that was really my first one that I had ever ridden, and I kind of just assumed they were all pretty much the same. They rode the same. And e-bike's an e-bike, right? But as I've gotten to test each of these models, I've really come to find out that they are very different and for very different use cases and types of people. So picking out the right one is really critical. So if you're in the market for a bike, I hope you find this video helpful. Velotric did supply me all these bikes, but they aren't paying me anything else. They aren't telling me what to say. So sit back, relax, and let's check out these e-bikes. So the new one they sent me, this is the Breeze 1. Like all of Velotric's e-bikes, they are UL certified, which is extremely important to me. Just gives you that extra bit of comfort that your bike isn't going to catch on fire or anything like that. It also has Apple Find My built into the bike, which I love. That allows you to locate the bike at any time, and it can't be easily removed. It is literally built into the frame of the bike, so someone can't just walk up and pick off the AirTag or anything like that. It features a 750 watt motor and also includes the sensor swap. That's really an awesome feature in every single one of these bikes. You can pick between the torque and the cadence sensor. You can switch back and forth between each one. So you don't need to decide that before you go and purchase a bike and be stuck with it. You actually get the best of both worlds there. They all pretty much have a similar range, anywhere from 65 to 75 miles. And all of these bikes have the exact same display and controls. So it has that nice color, easy to read screen. And then I love the left-handed controls. You can choose from the different pedal assist. You have the throttle right under it, turn signals, headlight control, all that is right there. And then another sort of nice hidden feature is it does have a USB-C port, and you can use that to charge your phone or really any other device that you need to while you're riding, which is awesome. All right, so now let's talk about what makes all these bikes different. So one thing I noticed when I got that first Discover 2 bike is that e-bikes are heavy and big. So you can't really treat it like a normal bike in that sense. You really need to get a special bike carrier for your car if you're going to take it anywhere. As far as storing it, I like to hang my bikes vertically in my garage. That's really not a smart option with the heavier e-bikes out there. And I really didn't notice it too much, but I did go on vacation with my parents and had them ride the bike, and they really found that Discover 2 was just difficult for them to control due to its weight and size. So those are really the negatives to that Discover 2 bike. I love the bike. It's a great all-around one that really pretty much has every feature that you'd want in a bike, but just the negatives are the size and weight of it. So that brought me to the second bike that I tested. That is the Fold 1 Plus. And this one just blew my mind. I love that it could fold. It could fit right under the tonneau cover on my truck. So I don't even need a bike carrier. I can just slide it in there. It's protected. No one even knows it's in there. So that just really solved that problem of how bulky the Discover 2 is. Now, being that it does fold up, it does not weigh any less than that Discover 2 bike. It is still a heavy bike. And you can see some trade-offs. The wheels are smaller, so it definitely feels a little bit different than that Discover 2. But for a lot of people, that folding action is going to be the deciding factor, and it should be. It is awesome. So that brings us to this bike. This is the Breeze 1. Now, the major selling point to this bike is that it is the lightest weight e-bike that they sell. This comes in at 48 pounds. And when you compare that to the Discover 2 and the Fold 1, both of those other bikes come in at 63 pounds. So they're the exact same weight. And this one is about 15 pounds lighter. And let me tell you, you can really notice that when you switch between these bikes. That 15 pounds is a game changer. So if the size and weight and maneuverability of the bike is important to you and a worry with those other bikes, I promise you this one solves that problem. Now you are going to sacrifice some things. You can tell that they really stripped away as much as they could off this bike while still keeping some of those key features. And the noticeable things that are missing on this bike to keep it that lightweight is you do not have those front shocks. So you can see here on the Fold 1 Plus bike, you have that suspension up front. And then the same with the Discover 2 also has that suspension. The Breeze 1 does not. It is just a straight frame coming off those handlebars. So this is not going to be a good choice if you're going to be doing a lot of trail riding and going over really bumpy terrain. And then the other noticeable thing is they've taken away some things on the frame. You don't have the fenders, even though you can buy those separately. And you also don't have the rear kind of luggage rack, I guess is what you would call it. Now you can add that as well, but it's not going to come with the bike where the Discover 2 and that Fold 1 Plus come built in with it. But here you're getting full-size wheels, and again, all those other premium features like the torque and cadence sensor swap, same range, same motor, same top speed, same comfortable seat. Now that's a huge thing with these bikes. Every single one of them has a super comfortable seat. One of the most comfortable ones I've ever ridden on a bike. So you're not sacrificing anything there. One of the other cool things that I really like about this bike is when it comes to the brake lights and the turn signals. So on the other bikes, it's right underneath the seat and kind of a separate sort of light bar, where the ones on this Breeze 1 are actually built into the frame. I love that. I think that is so sleek looking, and I would love to see that put into all their bikes. All right, with that out of the way, let's take this thing for a ride and see how it feels. This thing rides like a dream. I just really couldn't get over how much noticeably lighter and how much of a difference that made. When they first reached out to me and told me about this bike, I sort of felt like it would be a good option for my wife, or sort of more geared to a female bike. But I gotta say, after riding this thing, this might be my favorite riding bike that they sell. It's just super smooth. You get that full-size bike feel. And if you're just gonna be cruising, around your neighborhood on some bike paths that are paved, this thing is awesome. I don't really feel like I'm missing anything in the front without that suspension when I'm riding on a smooth road. Now, if you're riding on trails, you're definitely gonna feel that. So that's really where I wouldn't go with this bike. But I really think Velotric knocked it out of the park with this one. So thanks again for watching this video. I hope it helped you if you're in the market for one of these e-bikes. Definitely leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. I will also have a link in the description and a special promo code that you can use to get an extra discount. So thanks again for watching. As always, if you found my videos helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you next time on Dad Deals.